Okay, let's talk about Mudavadi, aka Musalia Mudavadi. What do you think of Mudavadi when you see him? When you see his smile and his ever black mustache? He's a gentleman. That's all you see. But will he this time unite the Lughyas and become the sixth? Mudavadi, as he is popularly known, has a polite demeanor, even when offended. And this makes him hard to have an enemy. This 62 years old man and who is now the prime cabinet secretary and is known as the earthquake, after making a dramatic announcement that he will support Kenya Kwanza's William Ruto instead of a widely expected move to support Azimio candidate Raila Odinga, whom he had supported in the prior general elections in 2017, is now at the right time, or he is now at the right place with the right support, both locally in the Western region and also in the government, from his president and the vice president and the deputy president. So he has the luck or the opportunity to unite the Lugya community, which is one of the biggest communities in Kenya. I think it's the second biggest community in Kenya after Kikuyu. Will he unite? That is the question today we ask. But before we talk, we analyze about if he could or if he can unite the Lugya community. Let's look at his background. Who is Musalia Mudavadi? Musalia Mudavadi is a former vice president and former party leader of Amani National Congress, ANC. So he's a son of a former, the late cabinet secretary Mudavadi. So he has been in politics for long, and he has the experience and the qualities to unite the Lugya community. Although it has always been hard to consolidate the Lugya vote, we believe Musalia is the right person, with the right character, the right age, and the power, and this makes him as the only person, as the preferred candidate to unite the Lughyas. He has the support of all the senior politicians like Francis Atoli, Fred Gumo, the National Assembly Speaker Moses Masika Wetangula. And the only person that he has not openly supported Musalia Mudavadi is Wycliffe Oparanya. He also has support of the young political leaders like Cleophas Malala and Rashid Echesa, who are always at the ground making sure Mudavadi has the much needed massive support and remains relevant, even when he was not having a political seat. My people must all agree that the fact Mudavadi has government machinery also helps him to unite the Luhya people and be the Luhya kingpin. In a land where Raila Odinga has always trounced him, even at his backyard, Raila has always garnered over 70% of the votes. To uproot Raila's massive support, Musalia needs the government machinery. I do not only mean the fact that he is the primary secretary only, but the fact that President William Ruto is on the charm offensive in the Western Kenya, and he is giving them projects. He has appointed a lot of Lughyas in his government. Has even made the young Cleophas Malala as the Secretary General of his party. So William Ruto wants to consolidate the Western vote, which will be very important for him in the 2027 elections. So he cannot consolidate the Western votes without the support of the Western, without the creation of a Western kingpin who will be loyal to him. So he has to consolidate it in one. The votes, the votes are 6 million votes, and he knows that if he consolidates the Western vote and the Rift Valley vote and the Mount Kenya, then his re-election is as good as done. So he has to consolidate the Luhya vote, and the strategy is to have a tribal king. Give the tribal king a very senior government job, give a lot of goodies to the leaders from the region, and we have seen goodies like the reviving of sugar factories in Western Kenya, and making sure those people who were making, those investors who are making it hard for sugar companies to get revived are chased or are forcefully told to hand over the peoples or the factories. Because those factories, they were gotten through shoddy deals. So doing this, giving these goodies to the Western people, he is endearing himself to them, and is making them, loyal to him. He has also given political protection and to most of his Western Kenya leaders, like people like Rashid Echesa, who have gone out publicly and said that if William Ruto lost the election, they could be in jail now. And it is true. We saw a lot of leaders that were arrested from the Luhya Nyanza by the Uhuru regime they are now free and free to serve. Not just free, but they are protected. We know, like somebody like Didmas Baraza, and his case of shooting his opponent's bodyguard during the election of 2022. If William Ruto could have lost the election, Didmas Baraza could now be in jail. So he has been protecting them and giving them government projects and deals. In return, the Luhya leaders will all support him unconditionally. And this is the government machinery I'm talking about. with his modest demeanor, which he got from being a Quaker Christian, Musalia Mudavadi has been able to get the support as a tribal leader of the Lughyas sub-tribes, except of the Busia sub-county, which I think are Teso and Samia sub-tribes. But we know that they are slowly turning from Raila Odinga to Kenya Kwanza government under Musalia in the region. But another factor that we must talk about is the fact that the Lughyas have always wanted a presidency, and there have been rumors that President Ruto has promised that come 2032, he can or he will leave the presidency to the Western Kenya leadership and making Musalia the 6th president. He has revealed this in the recent meeting with the Western Kenya leaders when he toured the region. But it's not only this, but Musalia has always been a safe choice to most retiring presidents. He's somebody that you can trust, that he can be loyal to you if given power. And this goes back since 2002. 2002, before Mzee Moi retired, we all remember that. And those who are old enough, that he made Mudavadi his vice president over very senior and experienced politicians like the late George Setoti and others. And the reason why Moi chose Mudavadi was not only to get Luhya vote for the then presidential candidate Uhuru Kenyatta, but also he was sure he could trust Mudavadi with instruments of power. This will be repeated in 2013 when Kibaki was retiring and the men around him were looking for a successor, one who they could trust with the instruments of power, someone who they could have influence over, someone who will not disrupt the system, will leave the system as it is, so that they could be safe and continue with their public service careers and their deals. They chose Mudavadi. The men around Kibaki almost made Mudavadi the president then by making Uhuru to almost concede to support Mudavadi. Uhuru will later be influenced to run for president by William Ruto, and he is remembered blaming the devil for reverting his concession to Mudavadi. We are seeing the same pattern of Moi and Kibaki in President William Ruto. He seems to trust Musalia Mudavadi with instruments of power than Rigathi Gachagua. This trust is seen the day Ruto, then our presidential candidate, was nominated by his party, UDA, as their presidential candidate. Where after Mudavadi finished his speech, it is remembered Ruto rose and went to the podium before Mudavadi took his seat and said to Mudavadi, he said that because Mudavadi supported him, he was brave and he will pay him when the time comes in equal measure. We see words come to reality by taking away power from his deputy and giving them to Musalia Mudavadi, preferring Mudavadi to do his foreign missions. And I know, of course, foreign missions need seasonal politicians. And William Ruto was strategic to choose Musalia Mudavadi over Rigathi Gachagua, who was only a one-time MP before being a deputy president. It also shows that he finds Mudavadi trustworthy. He can trust Mudavadi, and he is confident if he sends him to foreign missions, there will be no blunders. But foreign policy will not make Mudavadi president. It will only make him a good presidential candidate. What will make Mudavadi presidential candidate is, firstly, if Ruto chooses him as his successor and throws his weight behind him. That is the Kalenjin, and his weight is the Kalenjin vote and the state machinery. Secondly, Mudavadi consolidating the Lughyas massive 6 million vote into one basket. And thirdly, gathering a running mate from Mount Kenya, preferably from Mount Kenya East, someone like Kithure Kindiki or JB Muturi, so that they could split the Mount Kenya vote, which is now under the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. He is perceived a presidential candidate rival for Kenya Kwanza ticket in 2032. Unlike Musalia in Western Kenya, most Kikuyu leaders have not accepted Rigathi Gachagua as the tribal king. He has little experience in politics compared to majority of Mount Kenya leaders. His skills are wanting, and he is abrasive in nature. So the mountain will be easily split from Musalia with the help of President Ruto and Rigathi, if Rigathi Gachagua decides to fight for the party ticket come 2022. Having said all this, we all know that in politics, one day is a long time, and 2022 is still very far, and anything can change. So the dynamics can change, and knowing that Musalia has always been a gentleman, he could easily accept to be a running mate for Rigathi Gachagua. Or he could support Masika Wetangula to be the flag bearer come 2032. But as for now, we see that he's the best candidate to succeed William Ruto come 2032. Please feel free to speak your mind in the comment section below and criticize me if you will. Like, share, and comment. Thank you.